Let's see here. Start that. And let's see if we can unmute participants. Or actually, I guess you can unmute yourself as you wish.
I think we can.
Yay! Hi, Tracy. Hello, Jane. I was going to get a camera, second camera. Aw. Jen Stirrup is spreading the good word about the workshop.
That's good.
Yeah. Hello, Matt. Welcome.
Hello. I had a coworker ask me about this because I blocked it out on my work calendar, and so I sent her the blog post as well.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to step away for 1 sec. I'm going to see if I can borrow a webcam from my husband. First things first, I should probably shut down that. Here we go. Okay, right back. And I'm back with a second webcam. How great is that? Hello, Dustin. Hello, Brian. If those are your real names. This is not going to be a big formal thing. I really hope y'all know that already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Dustin,
So?
I wasn't like trying to shame you or anything. I was like, oh crap, I better get the time zone wrong. I hope he realizes it.
Yeah, I realized it because I was sitting there going, wow, one participant. Oh yeah. Yeah, that one participant got the time wrong because otherwise there would be multiple participants.
That's good logicking. Well done.
Well, for a Monday.
Yeah. Well, for any day. I'm not gonna limit that.
I'll take credit.
Yes, I think you should. I've been thinking about putting together, I don't know if it would be an article or a blog or something else, but the title is stuck in my head. It's things my friends and I say to each other. And it's things like lower your standards, accept the praise, things like that.
Oh yeah.
We'll wait a few more minutes. I am not sick. Oh, we're already recording. Let's pause that. All right. So I thought a lot of people are unaware of bullet journaling method or, don't know what benefit it might have for them or whatever. I bet it would help spur some people to get started and help us all kind of like keep up with it a little bit if we just met at the end of each month and we're like, hey, let's do bullet journaling things. So that's that's what this is. Like, it's not necessarily under the Minionware brand. It's not necessarily going anywhere. It's just, this is something I feel like doing. And I'm so glad you folks are here. I say again, I do not have a cold, by the way. I am just, my nose is not used to Colorado yet. So I figure, you know what? Instead of just doing a lecture, let's have a quick round of where you are. I'm going to start with Jen, if you don't mind. Have you done any bullet journaling, or is this completely new, or where are you?
I used to bullet journal, and I think I stopped doing it just because I always feel I'm trying to look for the best way to optimize myself.
Right.
And I think, well, I'm 48 years old and I haven't really discovered that yet.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel I'm covered in planners. So I'm gonna show you one of my planners for today.
Ooh, it's pretty. I like it.
It's also very empty because I didn't really use it, and I should have
Yeah,
done.
it is very empty. That's
Just
true.
that. So I did that, and I've got another thing which I use, which is probably fell. Which here's a sort of version of it, which I might use tonight. Which I like having this.
You get the
And I like
lines or the
having
dots? I can't
beside it.
tell.
Oh, sorry. I can't find my other one. I don't know what I've done.
Jen,
Sorry.
Jen, can you spotlight Jen?
I don't know how to do that, but yes, please chime in with things like that.
Click on the three dots, like in.
Spotlight.
There we go.
Oh,
All right.
there we
Thank
go.
you.
Okay. So I'll show you. I've got one here, but I just need to scroll out a customer name because
Sure.
it's confidential.
Privacy and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put my fingers over that. So
Okay, so very blank.
very
yes.
blank, but I sort of put my objectives here. But what I like being able to put my things into hourly slots, and I found that quite hard with bullet journaling.
Sure.
You're probably the same. You have meetings with customers, and it's quite hard to say. That was a bit where I kind of stopped bullet journaling, and
Okay.
I hopefully can find a way where I can combine both.
Oh,
But
yes.
you spotlight me, and I've got no makeup on, and
Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. And I'm going to pick on, if it's okay, Blythe for a sec. Blythe, do you want to talk to us about, have you done bullet journaling?
I'm kind of a little hardcore.
Ooh, then
So,
you're going to
okay,
be
so-
fun.
This is
oh wow.
so okay. So these are I have yearly. I didn't do any bullet journaling in March, so I was thrilled that you're going to do this because I just haven't found time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just need to do it during work time.
Yeah.
So I have yearly spreads. So this is my first page. This is kind of my 2020 wrap up. We bought a house, so I drew it. Playlist,
Nice.
books I read, two of my favorite memories, what I was watching. I am a voracious reader. So I drew a bookcase and then I'm just filling them in as I read the
Nice.
books. I have my goals, which I haven't put in here. Think great little thankful moments
I like that.
that I like to write down when my kids do something cute or, things I
Yeah.
want to remember.
Yeah.
I have a knitting spreadsheet.
Cool.
Sheet. I've done 2 projects so far this year. My seasoned bucket list. So things I want to get done in winter, spring, fall, autumn. So for
Okay.
example, winter, I wanted to clean out the car, wallpaper a wall, make desk for the girls, and do a shark. I have a shark triptych I wanted to get framed. I'm not done yet.
Awesome. I will say, I actually know what a triptych is, thanks to my friend Sequel Pie.
Oh, it's 3 pictures that make a picture, 3 frames that make a picture. I have a fitness. I have this like weight thing. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck this.
Yes, girl. Yes.
So I wrote, who
Shit, yeah.
cares? I did this whole thing and I was putting all this pressure on myself to be like waist, hip, chest, blah, blah, blah. And then I was just
Yep.
like, fuck.
Little
Okay,
secret. Men
that
don't
was
do that.
wonderful, and I love it. I will say the rest of the attendees, do not be intimidated when Blythe said she is hardcore. She has made it all pretty and stuff because that was what she likes. That's what
I like,
works
you know,
for
this
her.
is my January.
Yeah, this is what works for me.
Like,
Just messy. That's
okay,
what-
so these are January. So this is messy. That was just me being January, kind of planning my
Yeah.
year. But this is month. So January, I do like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 30.
That's your monthly spread. Okay.
Yeah, monthly spread. And then I write the things on here. And then I do a monthly wrap up. So I do like 3 sentences.
I like that.
Like February was bullshit.
Yeah.
I was on lockdown and the kids wouldn't stop screaming in my face. February was like 100%. So, you know, and then so for the weekly spreads, I started doing it this way where I kind of like,
I change them all the time. Yeah.
and then I would run out of space. I wouldn't use Thursday and then I'd run out of space here. So honestly, I have habits too, things that I want to try to do every day. But then
I'm going to cut you off in just a sec. Go ahead.
ends up looking like this. This is what
Yeah, that's nice.
just on a daily basis, what it ends up looking
So you
like.
think it's messy? I think that looks nice. I'm gonna cut you off just because, like, you know, but that's awesome and I love it. Dustin, I'm gonna spotlight you for half a sec. And have you bullet journaled?
No.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah. If bullet journaling means writing stuff down in a journal, like physically writing, then no.
I expand it out. It doesn't have
Okay.
to be a paper journal. I have a whole
OneNote.
thing on that.
OneNote.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got I'm literally taking notes on bullet journaling in a OneNote page. So
Do you have any kind of like any special sections or processes or symbols or anything to go with it?
oh no.
Perfect.
That's kind of what I'm hoping to glean here. So I
Awesome.
can start developing some sort of methodology to keep my notes organized, to keep a process in mind. So
Yeah, I'm not a paper snob. I think digital is fine if that's what works for you.
well, it's much more easily searchable. That's true.
Yes, it is. I'm gonna pick on Tracy for half a sec and say hi. I love your hair. I always love your hair. Have you done any bullet journaling?
It's not bullet journaling. I have a more structured planner. So I'm looking to unstructure it a little bit
Oh gosh, yes.
because there's like a whole page that's empty every day.
Yep, I talk about that too.
So
Yeah,
I use this side, but I don't use this side.
yeah,
So I want to do the bullet journaling on this side because like it sets up goals and it
Yeah,
has all
yeah.
the nice stuff at the front for the structure stuff. But I
yep.
need this side filled out with stuff. So
Yeah, we will totally talk about that too. I'm picking on the people that have their video on. People who have their video off. Do any of you folks, hang on, let me get back to grid view. Okay, that's not working. Okay, fine, we'll just spotlight me then. Okay. People who are not showing their videos, does anybody want to tell us where you are bullet journal wise? Or you can be silent, it's fine.
Sure, I can tell you. I've tried to start multiple times,
Yeah.
but I kind of needed someone to tell me there's no wrong way.
That is exactly. I have. If it wasn't going to waste time, I would actually pull it up. You can't do it wrong. Did I actually put that in the blog? I should
You
have.
did. That's what actually drew me to this.
Good.
I was like, finally, because structured analytical mind wants
Mhm.
it to have a right way and a wrong way.
Yeah, I must be perfect. That's right.
And I also can't stand the sight of my own handwriting. And
I
I'm not one of
understand.
those, I'm not a fancy draw things, I'm not going to be like Blythe.
Me
I
either.
need to see some messy stuff.
I
It's not that I'm not going to be like Blythe. I would aspire to that. I can't, right?
the great thing is
I don't have the artistic skills.
the great thing is one of my major goals is to remove that feeling of less than, remove that guilt, because we can admire and adore the artistic, let's make this pretty, the people who make their bullet journal something gorgeous to look at, and say, I am so glad that works for you. That's not going to work for me because I can't do that, and or I don't care, and or I'm not going to take the time, just whatever, right? It doesn't make you any less than. Like simple, basic bullet journaling, nothing wrong with that. Gorgeous. Jane or Brian, do either you want to say things?
Yeah, this is Brian.
Hi, Brian.
I saw your blog and I was intrigued because I think I'm doing bullet journaling in my head.
Yeah.
And so I thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of structure. I don't like a ton of structure because everything changes so much but bullet journaling seemed to make a little sense to try to get a little more organized.
Yeah. Nicely said. And I think, Jane, I think you're our last one. That was weird. Matt just walked off into the ocean. So cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, Jane.
Hi, Jen.
Hello.
I lost my Wi-Fi, so I'm on my phone, so that's why I didn't turn the camera on.
Oh, it's quite all
would like
right.
to show this ceiling or something.
There is nothing wrong with having your camera off. It's fine.
Yeah, so I've been doing to-do lists my entire life, I think.
Mhm.
So when I discovered bullet journaling, I'm looking back in this one, 2018, it looks like. I started it up. So I thought this looks cool, and I went over and over and over the videos, and very carefully, because I'm not a neat person, tried to organize this, and really like the way it takes the to-do list, and you have those little symbols. I really like the symbols to
Yeah.
manage it. And I really like there's no way to do it wrong. And I don't know if it would have been one of your blogs or somebody else's blogs I also read was, if you stop doing it for a while, that's not wrong either.
That's right. That's exactly
Pick
right.
it back up when it makes sense. And I would say during the pandemic, it has degenerated into scrawls on the page,
Which is fine. Absolutely fine.
and yeah, and also the other thing was that I like the idea that it can expand to be more than a to-do list, and that speaks to me in my life. My life needs to be more than a to-do list.
Very much
So
so.
that's what I'm looking for.
Cool. I like that very much. All right, let's dig into it. I'm not always going to start these out with everybody talk about where you are, but first one, I was like, let's see where people are. I love too that we've got like not a single one of you is at the same place as any other one of you, and I'm not at the same place as any. That's awesome. That kind of embodies the spirit of bullet journaling. It's so flexible. But I'm going to turn on my other camera. And if you brought a notebook to play along, you can do this, or you can just hang on. I'm recording this. I'm going to put it online. If y'all are uncomfortable with this being public, then I'll put it on unlisted. So it's just for you. I think that's fine. In fact, I'm probably going to default to that. Let's switch over. So you can either play along or not. I've got a very simple one subject notebook. You can get as fancy as you want or don't want. For my bullet journal, I actually use it's not the official branded, it doesn't have the bullet journal name on it, but it's the exact same kind. It is I don't know how to say it, Leuchtturm 1917. You can get those on Amazon. A little pricey.
That's what I have too.
Yeah, but there's a lot of good features with them. The pages are pre-numbered and stuff, but you don't have to. You can start off with something like this. We'll cover just the main elements of the setup. Then we'll talk about the process, and then we'll talk about how you can throw that all away if you want to. So your first spread, your first open page is going to be your index. And that's all there is to it. You're going to number your pages, or if they're not already numbered. And so whenever you've got something that you want to keep track of, you put it in your index. It's a table of contents for your journal, which is amazing, right? I've got things like, here, I'll just go ahead and show you. I've got things like, well, here's my future log, we'll cover that next. The different months, where I do my monthly spreads. We'll talk about that too. And then, various things various collections is what they call them. So if I'm studying, music theory, for example, then I would put an entry here, music theory, and then just keep adding page numbers as I take notes on it. That's one of the things I love about this is if you get yourself a 5-subject notebook, like we used to have in school, right? You're going to wind up taking a zillion notes on math and almost nothing on civics or whatever, you know? And here it's just whatever the next open page is, that's what I'm going to take notes on. So that's what your index is for. So, and I'm going to put down, you can't see, but I'm numbering the pages 1 and 2. Flip to the next page. And this spread, these two open pages are going to be your future log. The idea of a future log is I want to be able to see at a glance what's up in the next 6 months. This was vital for me before the pandemic when I was going to a dozen different SQL Saturdays in a year and so forth. It's actually still kind of vital for me. All I'm going to do for the future log, besides number the pages, there's 3, I'll do 4 in a sec. What I tend to do is divide each page into 3 sections as evenly as I can. Again, neatness doesn't super duper count for me. It's just not who I am. And this is, you know what? It's the end of March. I'm not going to put April in my future log because I'm just about to do a monthly spread for it. So we'll do April, May. There are tons of different formats, by the way. If you go out there and look, there's a ton of different things. But this, we're just going to do the simple stuff. So May, June, July, and on the other page, which is also future log, same divisions. And the next 3 months, see, August, I'm going to abbreviate that, September, October. And you'd kind of think ahead and you go, oh, you know what? I've got that appointment on the 15th with Dr. X in Colorado Springs. That's right. Just a brief note to yourself to say, oh, June 15th, that's the thing. Oh, you know what? My best friend's birthday is July 2nd, you know? So BFF birthday. And so forth, right? So this is not a place for specifics necessarily, but like, I really don't want to forget that. And me personally, I am going to forget that. I'm going to say one more thing and then I'll pause for questions and comments. I put lots of things in my bullet journal. I will also put something like this in, and here I'm messing this up because this is not going to be a real bullet journal, but it's fine. I will also put a reminder in my Outlook calendar. Like I'll make an appointment, set it to remind me 15 minutes before, because I need both. I need something that will, of its own autonomy, walk up to me and say, oh, Jen, do not forget this thing. I also need to be able to glance ahead and say, oh, crap, that's right. I should prepare myself in whatever way I need to for that appointment with Dr. X next month, or actually it's 2 months in the future. All right, I'm going to pause and ask for questions, comments, thoughts.
Yeah, sometimes I use post-it notes. Partly, I think it's partly because my handwriting is crap, and if I put it in the book, then I'll look at it and go, "Oh my God, what did I write? I can't read that." Yeah. So at least if I screw it up, because I will, I've got a second chance of making it look good. Another thing I found is I can't draw and I can barely write, but I found washi tape helps me because sometimes I just need to be able to find notes about a particular customer, and I may be dealing with 4 on the same day. And a customer said to me last week, Jennifer, what was that meeting we had last November? And I was like, oh, I don't know what I did yesterday. I haven't had a haircut in months, and God knows what else. I don't ask me what I did in November. But because I had done a different thing for each customer, I actually found my notebook with the washi tape categorized by customer.
Nice.
Because I've got different ones, and I do this to cheat blatantly because I can't draw. So for those of you,
that is not cheating. That is what works for you. That is your solution. We got to be more positive about this stuff. Like you don't have to, but no, I don't think that's cheating at all. I think that's brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thoughts, questions?
That would be similar to putting like colored dividers in a notebook saying this is for this customer. It's red. The next customer is green. The next customer is orange, whatever. So it's cheating, but it's not because it works for you.
Yeah, it's a system.
Yeah.
And if something, nope, completely lost it. This is part of why I have a bullet journal, because like for real, I have not been diagnosed, but I am absolutely self-diagnosed ADHD. It's like, oh, that explains my entire life. Crap, handwriting. I think if using the Post-its works for you, that's awesome. Oh, I was going to explain washi tape. If you're not familiar with it, it's tape. It's decorative. It's a lot of people use it. It's nice. I haven't gotten any because I'll lose it, but it's fine. All right. Anything else, or you want to press on? Okay. I didn't mean like you particularly, Jen. I'm not trying to pick on you. All right. So we've got our index and our future log. Next page over, and I'm saying these like they're hard and fast rules. These are the basics, the guidelines for bullet journaling. Once you learn the process, once you try it out, I say again, use whatever works for you and ditch the rest. It's totally fine. So we're going to do our first monthly spread. And monthly spreads are great. They're easy. Again, there are a ton of different formats out there, but my favorite is again, always the simplest. We put April somewhere up at the top, and then all the days of the week, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so forth, all the way down to, what is it, 31? And I'm not going to do all of them at this moment on screen simply because it's boring to watch someone do that. But when I do a monthly spread, I absolutely write down all the numbers. And then just like before, we take a look at April, wherever we've got our other thoughts or Post-it notes. If this is a bullet journal you've been using for a while, you'll glance back at your future log to see, okay, what have I got in April? But this is a new one, so we don't have that. So I'm going to say, oh yes, actually, I'm going to look at my real April spread for a moment. And I don't have actually anything in it much yet, except that there's a vaccination appointment on Friday. Yay! Not for, and my mom was planning on being in, and now she might or might not visit. It's hard to say. So yeah, so just same thing. Fill out whatever you've got coming up. I have attempted in the past. What Blythe said reminded me of it. I have attempted to set myself goals. Like, for example, I was like, okay, I'm going to do strength and cardio on alternating days and then have a day off and strength. I did not do one single one of these because present Jen really resents past Jen for trying to force that on her. Like, no kidding. You think I'm joking about this, but I look at every single one of those and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. I don't want to. I can't plan that stuff in advance. So I don't. You have the option if you feel like it. Ryder Carroll, who invented the bullet journal system, says, I'm sorry, that's fuzzy, by the way, but says, go ahead and put the name of the day. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I usually just denote where a week ends for me. For me, a weekend is Sunday. So
Absolutely.
There's a week. So that's the left half of the left-hand side of your monthly spread. Right-hand side is that's your planning. That's however you wind up choosing to use it. You can do lists of tasks or projects. I tend to change methods depending on how I feel that particular day or week or month. Right now, I'm dividing things up. I have projects, and then each project has its own page further on, or pages, recurring items to remind myself of, and then one-off tasks. I have also in the past done things like an Eisenhower matrix. So you got important on one axis and urgent on another axis, which is great because something that is neither important nor urgent, I might wind up putting things here like watch that movie or whatever. But yeah, I'll actually put things in here and say, oh, you know what, defuse the bomb is both important and urgent. I should probably get to that first. Things are important, but not especially urgent. I'm gonna register my car. It's already a year out of date.
Oh.
Why bother, right?
YOLO.
Yeah. I haven't been pulled over yet. But yeah, so you can use this side however you like to organize yourself. And again, that's something you'll probably play with and mess with. You could actually, Blythe, would you mind terribly showing us one of your right-hand pages of your monthly spread? Because I'm curious to see what an avid bullet journalist, if it's okay. If it's not, then it's fine, and we'll just find
No,
an
it
example.
totally is.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you last year's. It was way better last year.
Sure.
I like decoupage. Like I have particularly washi tape. I was crazy.
Nice.
So
Wow.
this is monthly. So this is February last month. So because I have really young kids, what I like to do is on a Saturday morning, I'll spend the day, I'll sit at the table and do my bullet journal. It gets them off their screens and then they just grab a coloring. So it's just
Aw,
part of our day.
that's
So
great.
here are all the days. I have the days here. And then I have my wrap up of the month before because I always like to look back, be like, how was your month? So for February, I wanted to have 3 date nights. I had a monthly, I wanted to have 1 sales call a week. And then I had these like, I needed a reminder of what the calendar looked like. John and I had our 10-year anniversary that year. I did this week. So I did the week like this.
Nice.
And then I had kind of notes on the side. It didn't end up working for me. I did my first chin up.
Ooh, that's
Like, you're a
impressive.
girl doing a chin up. I don't know. And then you're free, right? So February 1st is Paper Swords year end. And so I did all my paper storage. I wanted to make $800,000 last year for my business. So I did
Nice.
how my goals and how I was going to make that work. And then of course I put that in my index
Sure.
page because it needed a page. I don't know.
But yeah,
The one week I did a meal plan. I
sure.
actually
Okay.
stuck to that one. That was good.
Oh
Nice.
yeah. I can't do meal plans because again, future me will resent present me, but I am looking for somewhere in here, by God, and I've got it memorized now, but we now have just theme nights. So we don't have to decide dinner every night. And I wrote it somewhere in my journal
Huh.
where Monday is burgers, Tuesday is pizza, Wednesday is Mexican, and we don't have to do that. But instead of going, what do you want to eat tonight? We go, oh, well, it's burger night. Do you want to do burgers or dogs?
Yeah, here's a more concrete example of what you're looking at here, Jen. So I have the week on this side. And
Oh,
then
there
on
you go.
this side, I have my to-dos, my next week, what I'm thinking about for next week, my notes, and then this is my habit tracker. So up
Yeah.
at 6 a.m., yoga, ukulele. I was trying to play the ukulele.
I play ukulele.
But the ukulele I bought was shit. So I would have to like retune it halfway through playing it.
Oh God, yeah.
Take my vitamins, drink 4 glasses of water. Do my
As a side note, if you didn't play it very long, that's also a feature of new strings. It might not have been the ukulele's fault. They
that's a
stretch
good-
over time. Yeah,
I
I made
also
that mistake too.
kind of sometimes just draw.
Yeah.
I don't know,
So you can see,
whatever.
yeah, awesome. You can see, guys, there's like, she
Pretty.
has one person with a bullet journal and she
Right.
has, whoops, I was trying to switch. So that, hang on a second. I know how to do things. One person has all these multiple things. And I by the way, I love seeing that, Blythe, because you look, super organized and super duper. Oh, this is all neat and pretty and thing. And I'm not, but both of us use different things every single month. This month I feel like this. Sometimes I will get overwhelmed halfway through the month and do a half month spread and say, you know what, I'm just going to ditch all of that and start over again. So March, second half, bloom. You can do whatever you want. All right. So we did a monthly spread. What we're going to cover next Now, Blythe showed us a couple of weekly spreads. Sometimes I'll do a weekly spread, sometimes I won't. It's entirely up to you. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to talk about your dailies. And when I say dailies, you're not required to use your bullet journal every day. You don't have to. You don't have to write down. I always think about, because my memory is so crap, I'd really like to be one of those old school people with a journal who are like, oh, oh, I'm going to do a British accent, Jen. So, don't judge me too badly. Oh, I woke in and had donuts and tea for breakfast, and then I saw a lovely bird outside my window, and I think it was a whippoorwill. And I'd love to be one of those people that does that, and also who has a British accent, apparently, because I can go back and I can look and see, but I don't, and that's fine. So your dailies, really freaking easy. Today is, I'm going to say Monday, March 29. I know what year it is. I don't usually bother writing it. I personally, something I've picked up is writing down the days high and low. I don't know why. I just like doing it. Here it's going to be 63 high and 21 low Fahrenheit. And here we get to what's called rapid logging. You bullet journals will already know about this. So there are 3 different symbols that are standardized. There is the dash for like just thoughts, or you could just put down, oh, this other thing happened. Let's see, what's a dash I have for today? For today, I wrote down up early, yoga, shower. So sometimes I am that kind of person who's like, yes, I had a donut for breakfast. For tasks, it's a solid bullet. And for an event, it's an empty bullet. So, my day so far has been something like, let's see, yoga today. I didn't put that down as a task beforehand. I just wrote down that, yeah, that's something I accomplished. That's something my friends and I do say to one another is, if you can't do a to-do list, do a done list. These are the things I have done today. I have accomplished something. Yay. Let's see, tasks. I had to order groceries. And so I did put that down because this was at the beginning of the day. And I was like, oh, I've got this and this and this and this and this. I have ordered groceries, so I'll go ahead and cross that off. That's a task that's done. It's very, very intuitive. And then I had written down this morning that I have, excuse me, that is exactly what I would do if this were my real bullet journal, by the way. Some folks will get the whiteout, which I also have, right? Some folks will bemoan their fate and say, why did I mess this up? This is a tool, right? I want to take away that feeling of, oh gosh, I screwed up. What have I done? No. This is not a chance to prove yourself or a goal to aspire to. This is the hammer and the saw and so forth. It's okay to jack with them a little bit. Anyway, so for an event, I had this workshop. The thing about rapid logging is exactly that. It's supposed to be rapid. So I have a thought, oh, right, I need to do this thing. I have another thought, why is red? And, that may mean something to me later and it may not. I tend to know what I'll remember and what I won't. But rapid logging does mean that's why it's called a bullet journal. It's because we've got these different bullets that mean things. And because each and every one of these things should be just a short little thing, right? As you go through and complete things, you'll cross them off. I'm going to cross off as a matter of fact, here, we'll go back to the real world here. So here's my actual, let's see, I don't have anything embarrassing on here, do I? Okay. Workshop, my own screen. Let's go ahead and cross that off. I did it. Yay. And that's it. That's the basics of the system is the index, the future log, the monthly spread, and rapid logging. Now there's a process to go along with it. And I actually, this weekend, I had a really nice time. This is going to sound silly. I had a really nice time with my monthly migration. That's what it's called. you build up, here, we'll go back to the real world again. You build up these pages, right? With thoughts and tasks and various, here's that's my March half monthly spread. There's a weekly spread. Somewhere in here, I will eventually run across, there we go. I took a page of notes on skincare. I got interested in this guy on YouTube who does skincare videos. You will eventually build up a lot of stuff, right? Like I've got some tasks here that haven't been completed. And that's fine, because at the end of the month, we say, aha, okay. Here is April. I have listed down all the things that I can think of that are coming up. Clearly, I haven't thought of much yet, but I will. I have looked at my future log to see if there's anything else I should add. And I have added those things. And now I migrate anything that's not done from the previous month here. And I migrate things from my rapid log throughout that month forward. So far, so good. That's not, I didn't say that weird. Okay, cool. And that's the great thing. That's what makes this, Ryder Carroll calls it a meditation practice design, a mindfulness practice disguised as an organizational system. Because when you do this migration, you are looking at each individual item and forcing yourself to rewrite it. Oh, I haven't finished this, I'll write it here. I haven't finished this, I'll write it here. Some things, like I will say, and I wasn't kidding, I have been carrying car registration from month to month to month to month to month for like a year, and I'm not even kidding. Some things won't be worth writing down again. You're like, you know what? I thought about doing that, but I'm not gonna scratch it out.
Yeah,
Or
you kind of abandon stuff.
yeah, absolutely. Especially me. I'm serious about being ADHD. I pick things up and I put them down. And I pick them up and I put them down. It's totally fine. I now accept this about myself. It works. So either you migrate it forward to the new month, or you scratch it out, or you put it in your future log. You know what? I don't want to do this now. I want to do it in April. Or excuse me, April. It's April now. I want to do this in June, for example.
Sure.
And that's the migration process. And it sounds silly to say that it was very soothing, but it absolutely was. I start off my process by just doing a brain dump, right? These are all the things that I have to do. And by the way, this is a key one for any of us that have any anxiety whatsoever about, oh, this is my journal and it needs to be perfect, or I should carefully consider something before writing it down. I give myself permission to write anything I want by writing scratch pad at the top of the page, and then let it be messy as you want. Write down things that don't matter, write down things that you may choose not to do, whatever, just to get it all out of your head. That is my step one. Well, I mean, with a new bullet journal, technically my step one is setting up the future log index. And yeah, I do set up the blank monthly spread, just the month name and the numbers. But then I do this brain dump. And once that's all out of my head, then I can go, oh, I see. Okay, this is, and right now I'm organizing things in projects. This is part of a project, and so is that, so is that, so is that, so is that. Okay, so I need to put that on a project page. So I'll put that over there. Oh, and this is a one-off. So I'm going to write that in my little one-off section, right? That process of getting everything out of your head and getting it onto paper is the most valuable thing in the absolute universe to me. I did not mean to remove spotlight. Let's try this one. Because things go out of my head and they're gone. And then I would say there are late bills, but no, not anymore. Now everything's on auto pay, but there are late deadlines and there are missed meetings and a million and one things. So there we go. We have all introduced ourselves as where we are in the bullet journal thing. We have gone over the sections and we've gone over the method. I'm going to pause for a second again to see if people have thoughts, questions, concerns, whatever, things to share.
So if you guys had to track something, like if you wanted to track something every day, what would you track? I guess this is always the fun part for me. It's kind of like if I could do something daily. For me right now, it's taking my vitamins because I always forget. What would you want to do?
I will interject to say that trackers are extremely popular in bullet journaling, and I think it's great, and I can't use them.
No, you can't track.
I cannot use trackers, not in the traditional sense. No. I think it has something to do with that resenting past me thing. But I'll
Can you
talk.
just, sorry, can you describe what you mean by trackers?
Blythe, would you mind showing an example?
Sure.
Oh, was that your take vitamins, do yoga?
Yeah, I
drink
take.
more-
So I actually
Okay.
I stopped doing daily trackers because I felt like it was putting too much pressure on me to bullet journal every day, and I didn't want that pressure. So instead, I put trackers on, like I put things I want to do, but I put it on my monthly spread. So I would say I want to be up at 6 a.m. because then I get like 30 minutes without my kids. And I want to take which is very important in the morning.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Get the coffee in before you have to deal with take my vitamins, make sure I go for a little walk every day. Super simple, but I was forgetting to do those basic things. And so I just wrote them down. So then whenever I opened my bullet journal, I would see it. And I'd be like, okay, did I do those things? You can get hardcore, and I have done it a couple months where I would do my weekly spread and then I put like Monday, and then I would do V, W, V, W, and then a 6. Like, did I take, and then I would circle them if I did them, right? But you just have to be committed to,
right.
Like it depends on how like goal oriented you are.
And
Right.
I will actually, let me jump online and find.
I had one. I did not do it this year because of COVID. I just put pressure on myself but last year I did a lot. Did I do my stretches? Did I do my, like this thing?
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so I did it all on the weekend. Like, did I do these things?
Yeah, like I will go ahead and share my screen and show
There's
this.
another one.
I'll wait a second.
I used to do that tracking business, but then I just decided I'm just way too hard on myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I was
I'm
getting
not
that
going
too.
to drink 8 glasses of water. Are you who am I kidding? It's not going to happen. So what
Yeah.
am I doing? I'm going to drink fruit juice or, like fruit tea. So I'll do something else instead of trying to force myself to do something that I'm really going to hate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When as long as you, I think as long as you give yourself a goal to say stay hydrated, does that mean drink your 8 glasses of water, or does that mean drink some fruit juice, have a glass of water, maybe have a cup of tea later, whatever?
Yeah, for
No.
me personally, it just means every time I boil the kettle, get a glass of water.
Right.
Yeah. I try to drink a glass of water before I drink coffee, maybe
Oh.
a third of the time.
Yeah, I tried
No.
that too, Jen. That
Yeah.
definitely didn't work.
But if you'll take a look at the screen, this person has decided, and I did glance at this yesterday. This is just the one I happened to pick up today. Was this person is using medical marijuana and wants to track their
How many
amounts
bowls?
throughout the month. Yeah, and they've got notes. So here's just one simple. I love, by the way, the subreddit basic bullet journals,
Ah,
because all kinds of ideas and discussions and so forth. It's in there, sweetie. I'm gonna ask my son to get me a soda because getting parched. Speaking of hydrating, it's water. It's LaCroix. Something. But yeah, if you search up bullet journal examples online, you're gonna get a whole bunch of really, really pretty things. And again, I don't want people to get intimidated. These are great and all, but I'm not going to do that or anything like it. I'm going to do something like this. Come on, show me the picture. There we go.
that's me.
It's something that's I'm going to do, cannot stress enough. If you do pretty journals and stuff, absolutely more power to you. There is no sin. I think it's great. It's just not for me.
Mhm.
There was something else I was going to say. I forgot.
I love
Um,
how in 2020 and beyond, shower is on everybody's daily and monthly trackers
yeah.
as a
For
goal to complete.
Yeah.
For some people, that's what they needed. For some
Yes.
people, that's what they needed, simply
I'm
because.
actually starting to need that myself. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Right.
lie.
Some of
Right.
it has to do
Yeah.
with the pandemic, and some of it has to do with the massive amount of stress. I was speaking with somebody a few months ago about I do this. I'll propagandize to certain people in my life about one thing or another, positive propaganda. And I was talking about, how I finally a couple years ago recognized that I've got anxiety. Like it's not completely debilitating, but it does affect my quality of life. And so I went and I got treatment for it, and it makes a huge difference. And so we were talking about those things like, why does it take so much effort to shower? And for somebody with anxiety, it's, I've got to make the time, and I've got to go there, and I've got to get the water warm, make sure I've got my stuff, make sure I've got clean clothes. It's not just one simple thing. Thank you very much. And would you send me a note to remind me to pay? I have a personal assistant that'll do simple tasks for small amounts of money. It's my kid.
Nice.
Anyway, so you may find that habit trackers are absolutely your thing. Or like used to be when I was running, I would write down a schedule for training for the upcoming race, whatever race I had picked. So yeah, there's that. I tell you the truth, I will sit on here literally all day long and talk about this, but this is supposed to be a workshop. So let's workshop a little bit. I've seen some of you folks writing as I've been talking, and maybe that's notes, and maybe you've been doing stuff with your bullet journal. So let's workshop. Let's talk about, what it is that you're doing right now, what you think you should do next, whatever.
I can show you what I've been trying to do.
Please.
So again, colours.
Yeah.
And I know the handwriting's bad. That's why I like squares paper.
Yeah, you don't have to be upset about your handwriting with us. It's okay.
Especially me.
My weekends is essentially my calendars are quite vertical.
Mm-hmm.
I know not everyone sees them like that.
Yeah.
I tend to see the day more like a clock face, more like a spiral.
Oh, neat.
So I probably draw almost like a shell, and how much time I sleep. I have problems sleeping, and you mentioned anxiety, and I have that, and I think that's one reason that I don't sleep very well. But I've been trying a new herb, ashwagandha. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I don't know. I have heard the name before, but I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm not going to track how long, whether I take it every night, because I'll probably take it as is. But one sort of rule that I have put upon myself is that I will only drink alcohol on a Friday and a Saturday, and I will not touch it the rest of the week. Reason for that is I think I could see people I was working beside actually becoming very affected by drinking at night during the lockdown, and I was having to cover for them during the day, and it's really a lot because you're managing people who are hungover, right?
Yeah.
And we don't remember what happened in the meeting. And I thought I don't want to sound like I'm blaming them, because actually it's so easy to do. You lose track of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one guy I was speaking to was getting into quite a bit of trouble because he wasn't remembering anything about meetings at all, and there was no talking to him because we've normalised drinking during the pandemic, and that's not good. So I think, the reason I mention that is I think sometimes these rules are good to write down. So it's something that I do think about in my calendar, because I was invited for Thursday drinks and I said no. And I know that probably sounds really antisocial, but eventually I said, I'd love to see you all, but I'm not going to drink, because made a rule.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy to fall into a trap.
Mhm.
So if that helps any, but I just thought I'd share a bit about anxiety, because I think it's very easy to start drinking and not realise you're drinking. I live myself, so it's quite easy to, not be accountable.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. Well said. Let's see, we had something earlier. So you were talking about customer meetings before, Jen, and that's the kind of thing that I would absolutely. Some people will keep a separate bullet journal for different things. So like they'll have one for school if they're going to college, and they'll have one for the rest of their life. And I've thought about that. I've actually attempted to keep a bullet journal separate for my business. No, absolutely not. Won't keep up with it. Nothing. Oh, and speaking of keeping up with things, by the way, these lecterms have a pocket in the back, and I have a tile, which is one of those things
Nice.
where, if you don't know what this is, there's an app on your phone, and you can say, "Where the hell is my notebook?" and this will ring. So I've stuck one of these in here. Those things have also saved my life, figuratively speaking. So I was talking about, so customers meetings are absolutely something I would put in my monthly spread, in a reminder in Outlook. And if I'm doing a weekly spread, then I put it in there too. And I do have a weekly spread this week, and I've got meetings galore today.
Cool.
What was something else? We've talked about it being pretty and not required. Dustin,
Yes.
you're using OneNote for your things, and I will go ahead and share my screen again. Pardon me.
I am, but
Mhm.
in listening to this conversation, I'm thinking that I need to dig out my Moleskine notebook that I used to use for journaling and get
Sure.
back to that, because it's hard as heck to say, okay, I need this particular symbol, a dash or a bullet or an empty bullet, to be able to say, this is what I want to do. Because as I'm taking my notes in OneNote, you just get what you get. And unless you actually go
Absolutely.
back and select it, you get stuck.
Yeah. And that is totally a thing. You can adapt whatever you're using. If the Moleskine works for you, brilliant. If you find that it
Yep.
doesn't work for you, it is absolutely possible to do this digitally. I've
Sure.
got a bullet journal that I started up. Yeah, I said I can't have two bullet journals, but I'm doing this one kind of as a supplemental. This is in Google Docs. And so
Sure.
I've just put a straight up, table of contents at the start, which is nice. And then I've got my March spread, April spread. Then you see that I don't necessarily 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, skip 14. Wow. For a while there, I was doing every day, but you see, I'm not doing every single day because you don't have to. But yeah, you can get around those things if you want. So there's things to do, and it's neat because you can paste images in a lot easier than you can in a paper journal. I don't have a printer that works right now. But I'll do a done list, a task and ideas list. And I will, here, let's go ahead and go to the end. So let's say I'm starting up a new page, new day.
Shave the dog.
Beg your pardon?
No, I see your note on the
Oh,
previous
I
page,
think that was
shave
an
the dog.
example that I did for somebody else. So I did, that's the example I'm looking for, as a matter of fact.
There you go.
So these are, I did a dash list, thing one, thing two, and you can do a bullet list. It'll probably be similar in OneNote. You just got to have a space in between.
Okay.
But you can, and that's the thing about digital, is you've got the luxury of saying, okay, well, I'll separate out my thoughts and the to-do lists, and then I suppose events. I could do XYZ. Oh man, usually it'll. There we go.
Yep.
So maybe if I do that. So yeah, it's just a matter of, what you feel like. I feel like digital is the way for me to go. Well, shoot, yes,
Sure.
please use digital if that works for you.
I'll have to figure that out between now and the next meet we have.
You know, and if you don't, then we'll talk about it some more. It'll be fine.
I'll make it my goal, my one goal for this.
Oh, you should write that down on your goals. Oh, and I was going to also share with y'all, there is an entire book by writer Carol about this. It is the bullet journal method. And it's very good. And it goes into a whole bunch of stuff that I don't use on a daily basis, but I am going to read through this to get some ideas because I change a lot. And maybe I want to go back to doing goals or a bucket list. Or I love the things to remember, Blythe. I think that's absolutely great. But I went ahead and went through here this morning and just highlighted a few things. I've been talking about bullet journaling lately, and I developed a session. And then after that, I came and reread the first part of it. I completely forgot that writer Carol was also diagnosed ADD. And I'm like, oh, well, that makes complete sense, 100%. Talks about his trouble in school. This was back in the 80s when, you know, the condition wasn't well understood. That's also me. Attention dart off to the next thing. This is not just for people with ADD. It's for anybody who wants to use it. But I just thought that was really, really cool. I will say further on here, there we go. Once this started getting popular, people were using it for coping with PTSD, OCD, ADD, anxiety. But like, I think everybody, especially in IT, even if you don't have any kind of neurodiversity going on with yourself, it's a big, crazy world and it's hard to keep track of. So that's what I had. You do not have to read this book, but if you feel like it, absolutely go for it because it's great. I think you can get away with not even coming to one of my talks or workshops, but go to bulletjournal.com, click start, and it'll give you a 4-minute video right there, which goes over what we went over, but you know, in a much more polished and more digestible form. Anyway, we are about at time, and I will happily hang out and talk more with y'all, but I think I will end the recording here at the very least. And again, I think I will put this online, but unlisted, because everybody's showing pictures of their journals and stuff. And that's very personal. So we'll just for the attendees. Yeah, stopping the recording.